एक बरस बीत गया, झुलसाता जेठ मास, शरद चांदनी उदास, सिसकी बरते सावन का, अंतरघट बीत गया, एक बरस बीत गया। सीखचू में सिमटा जग, किंतु विकल प्राण विहग, धरती से अंबर तक गूंजा मुक्ति गीत गया, एक बरस बीत गया। पथ निहारते नयन, लौट कभी आएगा, मन का जो मीत गया, एक बरस बीत गया. These are the wonderful lines from Vajpayee ji. Probably he has written in somewhere in emergency
Yeah.
days. Well, Vajpayee ji was never recognized as a poet, but I think I really love his poetry, and he writes
Mm-hmm.
directly. His poetry penetrates into your heart.
बिल्कुल
Uh,
बिल्कुल
we are we are at the I mean, New Year is in, a marvelous New Year is in. Welcome to its first opening Sunday, opening day of its gracious arrival, intertwining with our 79th illustrious, historic Renaissance weekend show of Sheetalnath Conversations. From Sheetalnath Conversations studio, I take privilege to greet all of you with a wonderful year of joy, of bliss, of hope. And I'm also, really indebted and earnestly, my earnest gratitude to all the, these wonderful people who have been part of this whole association and viewership of this wonderful, this program since its inception 2.5 years ago. I think it has been a very wonderful journey together, and all aficionados have been here. But we are here trying to untangle. Our effort, our endeavor is to untangle the veils of far and the visible, shades of our civilization, time spaces of our civilization, travel through our sagacious contours, sagacious passage of history since millennia. We have been able to, approach our humble and this effort has been, our simple effort has been to create a kind of a connect with the shades and sunshines of the backyard. Visiting the culture, traditions, literature, musicology, art, ancient wisdoms, transitions, kingdoms, flora and fauna, culture, landscape, treatises, chronicles, romances, and peaks, hustle and bustle, people, and all these dimensions of our civilization, the great civilization in this part of the country known as Kashmir, nestled, lapped in the majestic Himalayas. Literature, history of literature, probably as old as the civilization is, and literature is nothing but it is a true reflection of our life. It varies from the different cultures and different terrains and different geographies, but literature has a very, very significant role to play. From the times when it was started, and it was in its oral form, in the folk form, in the and in the epic form, to then advent of this written form of literature, writing the literature. This has been a much times have passed, much millennia have passed in between. And storytelling is the core, at the core of literature. Storytelling is as invincible, it's an indelible part of this human existence, and in human can only express, modify, evolve. It has been evolving through the storytelling. India, we have seen, especially the if we look at this multilingual, we have this uh, uh, people in different ethnicity, by ethnicities, bicultural, bicultural these endeavors, bicultural civilizational aspects of our country, the vast and grandiose and gigantic country. We have seen that this diversification is always there, but the soul of India, in terms of the sensibilities of our literature, in terms of the moral values of our literature, in terms of the craft of the literature, in terms of heartbeat of the literature, seems to be the same. Wonderful literature, exponents of literature in the regional languages and the languages at the national landscape, like English, Hindi, and Urdu, have contributed a lot, time immemorially, in the development process of the Indian literature. When we talk about this Occidental and the Oriental literature, we can just see that there is a parity between Hindi literature, especially when I talk about the Hindi literature, but a parity between the Hindi literature and the literature in the Occidental and Oriental literature, which we predominantly call as Hindi literature. It has gone through the same phases, probably the phases of, like they had this Anglo-Saxon, and we had this ancient literature in Hindi, which was known as in Hindi terminology. And then they had the Renaissance period. We had the Bhakti period, which we call it Renaissance as well. Bhakti period was something, which was very, very wonderful. It had the great poets like Kabir, and number of poets were there. Kabir, even Guru Gobind Singh Ji for that matter, Amir Khusro for that matter. They all were there. Meera Ji was there. Even going to the outer periphery, we had Andal, Akka Mahadevi in Tamil Nadu, and Laleshwari in Kashmir, and Mata Rupa Bhavani in the later centuries. So this whole phase of Bhakti Yug was a period of great renaissance. It recreated, re-revived, revitalized this wonderful language of Hindi, which we know as Hindi. And over the years, it has graduated. Over the centuries, it has graduated from its sub dialects, probably in Khadi Boli or other Khadi Boli and other sub dialects which it existed, like what is known as Haryanvi and Khadi Boli, Braj Bhasha, Awadhi. They are all the sub dialects of the Hindi. But somewhere down the line, it is after the independence, it has become the main bhasha, main language, our national language, and it has been written in Devanagari. And that's so wonderful journey about Hindi. Especially last 2 centuries, we can see the greatest exponents of Hindi, which have revolutionized, revitalized this entire edifice of the Hindi literature. It has gone through a revolutionary and sea changes. There are a number of personalities, the greatest personalities, who came down on the scenario of Hindi literature. They may be we may call them from Bhartendu Harishchandra to Mahavir Prasad to Maitri Sharan Gupta to this Mahadevi Verma to Nirala and to Renu to Harbansh Rai Bachchan, and later on Dharamveer Bharti and Mohan Rakesh. All these people, even this, what do you call it, Amrita Pritam, they contributed a lot in their own way. And when we talk about the very recent times, we have seen also the great legends, great personalities, a number of people writing for Hindi in the modern and postmodern context. And we have people like this, Mamta Kalia and Mridula Garg and Gitanjali Shri and Manu Bandari and Chandrakanta Vishin, and many, many other great, especially the women. It is very astonishing, and we are very proud of it. They are all women, and they have contributed a lot. They are the pillars of the modern, day literature written in Hindi. Today's our guest is one of the India's foremost Hindi literature author, novelist, storyteller, memorist, poet, essayist, a native of Kashmir, uh, whose profound, celebrated, prolific work uh, echoes around across the wide and the deep civilizational moorings of her motherland. Born in Kashmir in a upper middle class family to a professor father, the father was a professor. She has studied in Kashmir University and Rajasthan University and has done a Masters of Arts in the second position from one of the most reputed and prestigious universities of its time, Birla Arts College, Pilani. She has been a enormous, Vishin has enormously contributed to the modern Hindi literature, and she has written more than around 7 novels, 21 collection of voluminous short stories, one anthology of poetry, one essay book, and three wonderful, magnificent, alluring memoir books. So her role is very, very prolific, very, very wide. She's one of the real pillar of the modern Hindi literature. Uh, she has been conferred with countless awards. Looking at her contribution of almost 55 years since she has been writing, contributing to the field of Hindi literature in different genres. She has done erudite work on literature, including the most prestigious works of her, which are very popular. We'll be talking about those genres and those novels and those stories during the descent of the program. But she has got a very wide range of awards. I have appended a list of awards of her in her promo in the Sheetlath Conversations. Here, because of the paucity of time, I cannot go on and on, but I'll just name the few. Vyas Saman, she has been by K.K. Birla, this foundation. That is one of the greatest and highest award in literature in India. Mahatma Gandhi Saman, Mahatma Gandhi Sahityak Saman, she has got. And Subramanyam Bharati Sahityak Saman, she has been conferred by the President of India, Pranab Mukherjee. He was the President of India at that point of time. And then she has also got the Kalpana Chawla, what do you call it? Kalpana Chawla's that award, the extraordinary. Extraordinary. I don't know. There is some name, Excellence Award, Kalpana Chawla Excellence Award. Her works have been translated into almost many Indian languages, including English. Her most popular works, her magnum opus, which is known as Sati Sir, has been translated in English as a saga of Sati Sir, and it has a very wide readership. Her earlier novel, that was Elan Gali Hazir Hai, a street in Srinagar, was presented as it was shortlisted in a prize in the South Asian literary this award ceremony. And she's a her especially her her magnum opus Sati Sir have had almost around 70 to 80 70 research papers probably, and the complete thesis and research papers have been done on that particular book. And she has also been to her work has always been highlighted. It has been broadcasted at the features, especially her novels Sati Sir, Katha Sati Sir, Vitasta Behti Hai, and Elan Gali Zinda Hai. It has been featured in the All India Radio Broadcasting features, long in series of featuring broadcasting there. She has also her stories and her scripts have also been filmed by the prestigious Doordarshan producers for the Doordarshan India, and especially I will mention about the Poshnul Ki Vapsi is one of the stories which is done by the eminent filmmaker theatrist M.K. Rena. M.K. Rena was here a few weeks earlier. Here we also had a conversation with him. So when we talk about her, there is one thing very special about her. Despite of so much gigantic ocean of work she has done, she is very calm, composed, low profiled. It is being found in the artistic circles, in her the admirers of her literature, and the artistic circles, the literati and the critics, all her friends, literary friends, they all admire her stability of thought, her serenity, her composure, and they say that there is not an element of pride which has come into him. That's probably something very unusual of our times. Probably I will define in my smaller way, understanding way, that she is like a, you know, vast ocean treasure of literature, and it appears very calm, vast and deep ocean. So I won't be wasting much of your time. So I don't want to stand in between you and Chandrakanta ji. So I'll bring her along. So let's all welcome with great reverence, great respects, and great regards and affection to the pillar, the great one of the stoutest pillar of the modern, one of the stoutest pillar of the modern Hindi literature in India, Chandrakanta Vishin ji, into the studio. Chandrakanta ji, you are welcome into the Shitalath Conversation 79th Historic Renaissance Show.
Namaskar. I am really, first of all, I'm really thankful to Jugal ji and his friends, I don't know who invited me on this forum. And that also on the first day of the new year, 2023. I don't know why these when New Year comes, there is a lot of hope. We know, but last a few years have not been very hopeful, and because of
Thank you.
Corona and all sorts of things. But whatever happens, we writers also, everybody hopes for best. Writers also try to find some niches and crevices somewhere light comes. You see, I'm remembered of this Cohen, you must be doing. He says, "Ring the bell that still can ring. Forget your
Uh,
perfect rings. There is light in everything. There is crack in everything. That is how the light gets in. These cracks
uh,
and issues we generally writers also just see where from we can get some light, some hope, and I think this hope remains. And we hope this year also things will be better, definitely. And with that, I am giving you all of you best, very happy New Year, full of hope. And I hope we may go back to our homeland also, homes, after all these 32, 33 years. So let us hope for best, and please accept my greetings, all of you. Best of luck.
Thank you, Chandrakanta ji. Once again, it's your magnanimity and your humility that you agreed to come on the New Year Day, because you are a person from literature. So certainly you are supposed to be a role model and an inspiring personality. Your acts will be definitely different. So you came on the first, and we were available on the first of this New Year. So thank you very much. I think before we talk to the broader aspects of the literature, the journey of literature through which you have gone, first of all, I would like to say that you are a Kashmiri, native Kashmiri. You were born on the banks of Vitasta, which I have heard, and later on, after marriage, you went to Karanagar, and there are many, many places in between. So let's go through this vision, the witness of an adolescent, and then the young, and then I mean, slightly with the later ages, before marrying ages of this Chandrakanta Vishin ji. And let us know how she witnessed Kashmir, how she witnessed its color, literature, social things, how it unfolded in front of her. Because writers are very sensible people; they are very sensitive. So that's why they are different. Jaran, how do you witness your family, your friends, your street, your places, the color, culture, traditions, picnics, environment, inspiration, institutions? So let us begin this wonderful first segment, which is normally devoted to Kashmir of this program. Kindly elucidate, ma'am. Thank you.
Sure. I am native Kashmiri, no doubt. I was born in Srinagar and Habbagar. We call that area Ganpatiyar. It is between
Ganpati.
first bridge and Habakadar, in between.
Okay.
And I was really, as you have said, Jugalji has said, my father's house was on the banks of Vitasta. It was a five-storied house, and my father, we had very beautiful views. In front there was Vitasta, and then on other side there was Ganesh temple. It was a very famous Ganesh temple.
Yes,
And
yes.
then backside there was a bazaar, all sort
Mm.
hues and cries. Oh, those days we didn't have buses, but we had the cycles and tongas, all sorts of things. Quite, I mean, you can say it was nice nice atmosphere in that way. Because when we went up this fifth story, and we could see
Okay.
one side Hari Parvat, the other side Shankaracharya Parvat. Ganesh Mandir was there always. And there were other things also in the river, these were Shikara people and Bahats, we
Mm.
used to call that small donga type things. And life was going on nicely, and mode of transport was mostly shikaras, either shikaras or tongas.
Mm.
There were others. My childhood was okay, you can say, and my father was a renowned professor, as you know, and he was English basically. He had both English and maths, but he was known as English professor because he taught most of the time English only, English literature. But anyway, he was a naturally renowned person. Everybody knew him, Professor R.C. Pandita. And
RC
then,
Pantas.
yeah, he was quite you can see, was visionary, and he was a social reformer also. He used to say,
Okay.
whatever you preach, you should. practice yourself first and then you should preach. So he did a few things which maybe society didn't like that much, but he said, but whatever I say, I should preach it first. For instance, you can say, so of course we don't have much dowry system in Kashmir, but there are expectations, because there, I think, there are more dangerous than dowry, because you feel, oh, that he's a well-to-do person, he will, matlab, he will give something to daughters and all that.
You have to,
But anyway,
on festivals, you have to put something, give something to the daughter, and festivals and
yeah,
other occasions. Yeah.
yeah. Of course, we did some shagun, he said, but he didn't believe. He said, if I can give, of course I can give to my daughters. But there are
Mm.
people, there are poor people, you see, they can't afford, even they can't marry their daughters because of these things.
Mm.
There are sort of restrictions only. But anyway, he did it, and we also agreed. But though we were very young, I can tell you,
Okay.
I was just 14, and my sister was 16 when we got married.
Mm.
Though father wouldn't have done it, my children say sometimes, why did he get married so early? I can see there was one reason, because we lost our mother very young, when we were very young.
Okay.
My
Oh,
mother, about my mother, I can say she was from village. You can say Kolusa. It was a beautiful village, and
okay.
Madhumati River. And I was very young, but I can remember that. Remind that Madhumati, very nice river. Open, there was one temple also. They called it Sharda. But I don't know whether it was Sharda temple, because
Mm.
another Sharda temple I have seen in Muzaffarabad. When
Muzaffarabad, yes.
yeah, Muzaffarabad. My mother also, she got ill, and she got TB, and there was no cure at that time, no
Those
medicine for
times.
TB. So people said, okay, the doctors also said you should take her to some hill station. I
Mm.
don't know why we went not to hill station. First we went to Muzaffarabad. I was very young at that time. Muzaffarabad, they said there's water. They used to call it Nada water. And it came from some wooden legs after from that. It was like naan also, but some wooden thing. But my mother was not, it didn't help her there also. But in Muzaffarabad, I remember a few things that become to my memory again and again. Krishna was a nice, huge river, and so much of noise, so much of noise. But you would say noise, you would say sound. It was beautiful sound. We used to, I
Mm.
remember I was very young. I don't know whether I was 5, 6 years, not more than 5 years, not maybe. My sister was
Mm.
just 2 years elder to me, and we were four, of course five, or you can say children. Not children. My eldest brother was 10 years older to me. My father had married a couple of times. First wife, she didn't have child, so she adopted. My he also is one of our relations only, Somnath Pandit. He and all of I had 10 years difference between. But then second, my mother, our mother, she was from
Mm.
Kolosa, Bandipura. So
Okay.
we had three daughters and one son. My father didn't differentiate between girls and boys. That was a great
Okay.
thing. Otherwise, in society, such things happen. Boys are more to be taken care of. But anyway, things life goes on nicely, and we have my childhood. Can I say I didn't see much, because as my mother was ill, so our education was disrupted very early. I remember I went to, there was one Maitrey middle school. I was up to fifth or fourth, fifth. I couldn't. Then we had to shift to Muzaffarabad, and then to other places, Ganderbal, and then there also she didn't take. But father tried different places. Then we went to above Nunna. There's one. It's called Burpesh. I don't know, some
Okay.
woods, Prakshkush trees might have been there sometimes. But it was a
Okay.
beautiful place, and just only one bungalow was there. On top of that, there was a hillock type of. So it
Mm.
was beautiful there. It was huge garden. One thing I can tell you,
Mm.
I was a little bit different from my family. Every
Okay.
family has some discipline. I I did somehow. I was tomboy. I didn't believe that girls
Tomboyish.
should do kadhai, and they should silai. I knew a little bit kadhai, this sweater, knitting sweater, but I didn't do much other things. Kashmiri kadhai, that is considered to be, should be, girls should know it. So I didn't. I was just. I mean, I was there, but I was not there. My mind was something else. It was in my father had a good library, and mostly they were English books now. And, I remember I read Mother Gorky's Mother was there only, and some Mopasans, these
Hmm.
stories and all. But there were some Hindi books also, and Farsi, and Persian also. My father.
Russian.
I used to go there. I didn't know. I didn't understand much, but I would go there and touch the books and feel them, and some attraction. I don't know why it was there. I can see some reason because my grandmother, my mother, of course, she was ill. She didn't much. She didn't tell us stories, but grandmother, she was from village. She told us so many stories. And Kashmir is rich in stories. Lok Kathaएं, that.
Uh,
Himal, Son Kisri, and all sort of stories she would tell us. Many stories I have heard from her. Son Kisri, I remember. I have written a story also on Son Kisri. Something, actually, some of my friends, Kashmiri friends, he said, Hari Krishan Kaul, you must have known. He was a very good writer in Hindi
Hare
also,
Krishna.
Kashmiri. Hari Krishan Kaul. She
Greatly.
told me, where from have you heard the Son Kisri? I don't know the Son Kisri. I told him, my grandmother told me. Son Kisri, she was a girl. It was very, I really wonder how Swabhimani, we call it, she was. Somebody told her in her house, they say brother, but I have taken it different. I didn't want brother to say such things to sisters. But he said, मेरी में यसन ये बहुत something some hair के खाने में तो बोले यसन ये was so mean collar. So she didn't like it. She said no. She was offended. She left the house. And she didn't come back. She didn't want to come back. This is her mother came, and that old lady told me, uh, I mean Kashmiri, was on. She went up to she because people came to, they wanted her to come back. She didn't want to. She went on the house on this tree, and what they said, come down, please. And these mothers would say, was on kiseri. They say those days they used to have this चरखा वर्गा कहते थे शायद
Charkha, yes.
What
That was
this the under how you going Dodpat tour praranshi that means it is waiting the bath is waiting for you come down but she won't come ultimately she didn't come and the story is long so there is so many things in lok katha that there are birds they help you there are so
folk,
they go
folk
she goes
stories, yes.
and all that ultimately she becomes a queen somewhere. They say that she didn't come back. That was she was so manini. She just said, "No, you have insulted me." I wonder those ladies. They were at that time. Also, ladies were like that with that
Become.
Swabhiman. Anyway, I will leave you tell. I said maybe these stories I heard, and I took them I told her very seriously. I said, what else? What did she do? What did? So I don't know. My sister, she was very intelligent. You can say more intelligent than me. But she didn't. She had other things. She wanted just to talk, knitting and knowing how to cook and those things in childhood. She was very responsible also. But I was a little bit. I told you, Tom, I would do anything. But come, I would go. They say no. Girls are not supposed to talk to boys. Those days. I would go. I would make friends with boys only. That's how. The mother, of course, she would say anything. But we had a joint family. My uncle also was there. And my uncle also had four children, three daughters, and one son. So there were a lot of hustle bustle inside the house. They would do things, they would talk, his sisters would come, गोल घेरे में बैठ के बातें पता नहीं क्या बातें करते थे. I was not interested in that. So that's why I told you I went to father's library, though I couldn't understand much there. Anyway, one thing I want to say, two things here. I was from childhood, वो कहते हैं जिज्ञासु होते हैं. They want to know, but they wouldn't get answers. Because I remember we had, I miss this my story will go here and there, but you have to, because I remember a few things I want to tell you. There was I say there was Ganesh temple. I told you, one lady would come there. She was ill, so she had no control over her body. So she would those purohits and all that they would. I said no, jao यहाँ नहीं रहना. 2-3 times she came, but she was husband said he didn't accept her. He said no. He said what will I do with her? वो ऐसे बोला मैंने 3 लड़कियों को तो निपटा दिया. That he said. But
Oh,
इसका मैं क्या करूँ मैं? So she was there only. Ultimately she died. My father tried so much, but They didn't accept. And then he made it. There was one pottery type thing in Mandir temple only. She died there only. I remember I would take some. They would ask her to give her tea or something
Mm.
in winter, warm kangri and all that. But I was really, I don't know. I don't know why it's happening. In our houses, they would respect girls. We were always got G, जैसे कांता जी मोहिनी जी Devi, not G, Devi. We're supposed to be Devi. So what is happening to her? Why is she not Devi? Because in young child, young mind, nothing is explained to you.
Right.
Another thing was this thing of it had a great imprint on my young mind.
What was
Because
that?
I have that Rogini you call her, that ill lady, that she died there only. Then there is another in our this other side where the bazaar was there. On that, the row of houses are there on that side. So that these days also it is there only. We had some bridge mastana they called him. I don't know what he was. He was a little bit मस्ताना टाइप इधर पता नहीं क्या करता तलवार ही हाथ में लेके घूमता था but they were two brothers. They had got one lady from somewhere, from Anathalaya or somewhere. And she was a little bit, but she was a woman. She gave birth to a child also, a beautiful son. It was like a Krishna Bhagwan. But they would beat her. Morning, evening, she would cry. She would cry. But our parents, they said, no, you are not supposed to watch that.
Mm.
You are not supposed. Because these children, they shouldn't have these bad things. Maybe they will get some bad impression out there. But it was there. I would go again and again. I would see what she is doing. Until she also committed suicide. So these things, a few things, I don't know, they affected me too much. I couldn't
Mm.
forget them for a long time. But anyway, let us leave it here. So my mother, when she was taken to hill stations. I told you Burupash
Mm.
now. So there also there was a huge garden. It was just you can see pine trees of Himalaya. It was almost under huge garden was there. But I remember there's lots of pine trees and light a breeze, cold breeze was there, and we were very happy. So many trees, fruit trees, and badam. Green badam, होते
Oh,
नहीं?
green badam,
They are
yes.
they are very
Yeah.
thingne, matlab, trees. You can climb them. I was just 6, 7 years. So I would like to climb on that. But my sister she was wiser. She didn't climb. There are lots of these things. She could put one chuni and I would pluck these badams and drop there. But anyway, sometimes when Mali would, they are Jalalis, there were relations also. They said, no, let them, how many badams can they take? Let them children are there. But the problem was not we eating badams. Problem was that those who came to see my mother, they used to have full bags of badams and they would take them home. But anyway, it was
That was a
interesting.
great thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But I was really with so many people said, "What is she doing? Why is she climbing it? That is not done. Girls are not supposed to do that." But I did that. I liked, so I did it. But anyway, my mother, she didn't survive. She didn't. There also, she didn't. We had a small child, small brother, just 1 year or something. He died there, or there only in Gurbat.
Oh.
So mother got greater shock at that time. She was ill already. And there also, of course, she was on bed. I was doing all this masti. But I knew that my mother is there and she is ill. I should do something for her. What could I do? And there was one family, only one Bhatta family there. There was one daughter, she was double my age, but I became friends with her. She would take me to jungles up there and she would go for bhutta वुट्टा काट लेती थी और बोलती थी कि ये शहर की लड़की थी इसको माफ करो. She had her own way of doing things. So
Mm.
what else she gave me that green akhroट होते ना it's
Yeah.
very
कच्चे
well
मतलब ripened aknot, fresh on the from the branches.
it's
They fall
not
down, right?
ripe from the branches. So she said she gave it to me and you have to cut it with that charcoal. So it was so sweet. I took it's like shabri ke bear na little bit I took. It was so sweet. So I just put it in my frock, just
Mm.
and went to my mother. Just ran. She, that in TV they don't have appetite. She had almost left eating. So I went
Mm.
there. I told her, open your mouth. What they was so ill and sad and pale face, open your mouth. Oh, she said she will call me Kalandar. This girl
Jalandhar.
is big. Seriously, इसका कुछ होने वाला नहीं. So I said, open. She said, no, she won't agree. So she opened her mouth. I gave her that. I remember this. I have mentioned it so many times. She opened her mouth. I put that akhroat in her mouth. She ate it. And I remember this smile. And she says, कहाँ से लाई? बड़े मीठे हैं. I remember this. कहते हैं ना बहुत मधुर जी मीठे. I was so happy. My God, she is not eating anything, and she has liked it. I told her, now you are not getting such akhroat. You are not getting because you are not opening your mouth. Believe me, my father tried so hard because he would do anything because we were all young children and mother in that state of mind. But he couldn't get that. She said, no, not like that. Anyway, certain things are there. I would put all those pine is pine trees. When they drop with this end, wind. Even that little pine cones, I would take and put on her sirhana, on this cushion. People said, "Oh, she's making things dirty and all that." But I feel now because I wanted she should. I had heard that pine trees are sanjeevani, but that she will be okay. Such things are there, but I mean, maybe I was sensitive, more sensitive. Nobody else did it. My sister was very, you can say, she would take care of mother also, give her medicine, whatever medicine they got. Anyway, leave it here. Then ultimately we went to Harman, and there Harman, you must have heard. There was one Chandapura Naam se. She died there only.
Oh,
At that
sad.
time, this I want to say because this had got something to for if I became a writer, some seed was there. You see, mother died, then I didn't weep at all. Everybody cried. So young children were there, four of us. I was stunned. I don't know. I could not say what happened. She was there when, I mean, she was ill, but she was there on bed. Now all of a sudden she is not there. I didn't cry. I
Mm.
didn't weep anymore. Something happened to me. I
Impression
think
in heart.
I got something in my heart. I couldn't cry. Everybody said, what has happened? She's not crying. But after so many years, I said, when I had some idea of writing, when I knew a little bit how to write, so I wrote a few lines. Here I can tell you when my mother died, we came back to Srinagar. And life went as it had to. I have to leave it here, I tell because it is connecting. So one day, Mr. Vimla called, Miss Vimla called, and her brother Tribhuvan called. They came to my father's house. They told him that you are English, we know you are a renowned professor, but we want you to do something for Hindi. My father said, what do you expect me to do? Because I can't teach my children Hindi. Then they will get no jobs. What will happen to them? Said, okay, because girls were supposed to be, they may work or may not. Okay, I will send my daughters. I, myself, and my sister, we went to, they have those Trivankoor and Bimla, they have a beautiful cottage in Tankipura, they called it. And they dedicated it. They said, we will call, they called it Oriental College. So there
Oriental
Ratan
College.
Bhushan, all Oriental College. In Ratan Bhushan Prabhakar was there. So both of us, myself and my sister, we went there. We did Ratan Bhushan Prabhakar there. Within one, we did
Oh.
two, three these things. But we knew something because someone Master Ji was coming at home. So he,
Prabhakar was something considered very tough because my mother also tried for some period of time. Prabhakar was considered very tough. It used to be
oh,
said by the
we
ladies. बड़ा मुश्किल
Siddhi,
है.
but we started from Ratan Bhushan. So, I mean, of course, 2 months here, 3 months here, we did it. But I remember that year, only four girls had passed in that Prabhakar. We two sisters, of course, and one Mohini Mattu. If she is there, she will know, she will remember. Mohini Mattu. And there was one Sardar Latki, Harbans Kaur. Harbans Kaur died afterwards. She was a good friend of mine. Anyway, so this is that. But then we had to do, Prabhakar wouldn't help to do, and my father was about, he was a English professor. So we did
Professor.
somehow, he was a very renowned professor. So we did, I don't, mostly teachers, these masters would come to our house. They would teach us. But somewhere here, somewhere there, I can say we did that by parts, you can say, English, and then like that. So it was very,
Oh,
my education was very haphazard, you can say. But after then we did BA also English. But we passed very nicely because father also would teach us at home.
Because he
So
was a
BA then
professor. Daughters, yeah.
here. Then well, what would I do? Just English only. What will happen to that? Then we had to take other two subjects. There were three subjects in B at that time. So I took political science. I like political. I was good at that. But the third language was Hindi was there. It was equivalent to BA, Prabhakar.
Okay.
So it was
Yeah.
considered a subject for us. So somehow we did that. I also did that by parts. It was from I think University of Punjab at that time up to BA. So we had my
Yes.
one center, one was Delhi, one was Simla. So we would go there. My sister left. She said, "Enough, I can't do it because we were married very early."
Okay.
Though I didn't. I met my husband after some time, but she was married at that time. 16 साल की थी, so she got a son also. She said, "No, nothing. I can't manage house also, child also. I can't do it." She left after BA. She was doing. She said no, but I didn't leave. I said no. I had to do it. Though I also had some difficulties, though my father had asked my in-laws, they also, my father-in-law also he also was a teacher, was a master. So he agreed, said, okay, they're young, she will go to school also, college also, he won't say no. My father took and my in-laws also, they didn't object. But my husband also was doing, he also was studying, he also was young. He did his BSc, then he went to Banaras, he did B Farm, then M Farm. So there was a lot of time for me. Then
Okay.
when he did his pharmacy, then I joined him. By that time, I had done my BA, and my daughter also came with me. That time, we went to Pilani. But Pilani, I didn't understand what to
You
do.
stood second. You had a second position. You passed your MA in second position
I
from that.
No, but
Yeah.
I did B.Ed also in there because my daughter was there, of course. But I did B.Ed from Gandhi Memorial College. You must have heard the name of Gandhi.
Gandhi.
There were all
Yes.
veterans there. Gandhi Memorial College. Mr. Madan was there, and Dr. Mr. Kitru was there. There were some known the retired people. They
Known
gave their
personalities
suggestions.
of those times. Yeah.
My uncle also was there. He was JLL Pandit. He taught us English. Kitru Sahab told us history or something. No, one was Mr. Nazir. He also was not
Nazir.
a veteran. But he didn't like my father said this. He said, "No, this is old." He was older than my father. Sometimes they don't agree to each other. But anyway, so I did well in B.Ed also. B.Ed I came, there is theory and practical. Theory I was first, but practical, of course, I was second. So on the whole, I was second, I was not first. But anyway, when we went to Pilani, my husband joined pharmacy department there. So I thought
Okay.
I should do something. So I went to when we had a principal who was a very nice person, Dr. Sahel. I told him I
Rahen.
want to do Dr. Sahel. He was Rajasthan.
Acha,
He
okay,
said,
sir.
"What are you going to do? Your subjects are English and politics. What are you?" I said, "No, I want to do Hindi." I remember I said, "Hindi? Do you think it is so easy?" No, but I have done Prabhakar. He said, "No, it is not. You take
अब
English."
आकर वाले के पास तो वो कर सकता था कैपेसिटी.
No, I had faith in myself. I thought I will do. At that time, I thought I could have taken politics since I liked very much. We had some good teachers. Some education was in colleges also. I told you, some women's college also. Some because my father was teaching there after retirement, so I had a
Okay.
chance. They allowed me as casual student, not regular. Then I went to Jammu for my father-in-law was there. There was Miss Shaw. Miss Shaw was in Srinagar also. There was a Miss something, I don't remember. There also I was given this for 2 3 hours. You could do that. There was one good professor, Professor Satyabhushan. I don't know where he is now, whether he is there or not. So you see, certain teachers they make you matlab, like a subject. But anyway, so I took him. I said, "No, if you give me chance, I will try." He said, "Okay, if you are so particular." Then I did well. Of course, it was difficult for me. Child was there and house also was there. But anyway, then I did it. I worked there for 2 hours, 2 years in Pilani. You must have heard the name of Birla Balika Vidyapit. Their band, you see, great band of Balika Vidyapit. It was a good institution. Then my husband said, "No, I don't want to be a teacher now. I want to do some research type of work." So he left this and he went to Pilani. But in the time he got, this thing, I think Pilani also, he got scholarship. He went to Germany. He did his PhD from Germany. That also I got that time also for study. Anyway, ultimately we landed in Hyderabad. We went to Hyderabad then.
Hyderabad is a
Hyderabad,
place I have heard that you started your first poetry or first formal writing began from Hyderabad. Tell us
because
something
I don't
about
want
that.
to. You see, because my that principal had the principal of Vidya, she had given me a letter. Because you see, वो कहते हैं नया मुल्ला ज़्यादा ब्याज खाता है, we call it. So I was very particular. Be best, I should be best. But then I said no. I come, my child, my son was 1 year old, and my daughter also asleep. I said no, it won't, I can't do it here. But I had option. I thought I will write. I had read also. I used to write little poems here and there, but not that very. Just happens every something. In school, college magazine, school magazine, I used to write, but not stories. There, I thought I will be serious. I'll write. वो कहते हैं प्रतिबद्ध लेखक, we call it in English. I read that. I even really, I did a little bit here and there, but my first story, which I call Pratibhadra Lekhan, that came in Kalpana. Kalpana was a very renowned patrika. Only that Badri Shalpati was that he had taken. After some time, 2, 3 years, that also was closed. Because Hyderabad was, it was not Hindi Pradesh. Anyway,
It was
so
Urdu person. Khadi boli Urdu person.
Urdu and
Urdu
Telugu
was
but he had created that Badri Vishalpati had put a lot of that Kalpana. But and to be get published in Kalpana was something people would look at. Oh, who is this lady? Who is this girl? I got a lot of write for this, write for us. Then so Kalpana came in 1967. It was
okay.
September. When October came, then I started. And you get a boost sometimes. I was writing it. I put my best order, whatever I could. Then the second story came in Nai Kahana. He was Amrita, I might have known his name.
Okay.
Amrita from Allahabad. Then I got another story published Gyano, that was from Calcutta. Some of my friends say, oh, Chandrakanta was in Hindi Pradesh, that is why she wo chap rahi thi. It was not. Hyderabad was not Hindi Pradesh. And when in Hyderabad, I got published in Allahabad. I didn't go there. And Ghana, they said when you put your best, everybody
Yes,
is me, everybody
you
can
can do
do
it anywhere.
anywhere. But anyway, that is the story up to this time. What should I say now?
There were some people during your in Kashmir and study days, and who inspiring personalities, which came through, which rather motivated you or inspired you directly or indirectly, remotely, uh, towards your journey to become a literature.
It's a very difficult question. I told you, I didn't tell you that perhaps. I told you when my mother died, I didn't cry, I didn't weep. But after 4 or 5 years, when I knew this Ratan Bhushan Prabhakar, I liked Hindi. I don't know. I liked Mahadev. I liked Prasad. I liked Sumit Pant because I liked from my childhood. I liked nature. I liked nature so much. I was crazy. I would look at hills and you see Vitasta is there when moonlight good in moonlight. You could see the lahare kaise. I mean something. It was something I can't explain. I liked that. ना रात को भी मैं उठती थी देखती थी what's happening there. And there were people some I know I can't say. मुझे लगता है hills पर आते hills पर होते हैं snow होता है ना hills पर.
Uh-huh.
It was in the other side also. The both have houses in Kashmir. तो आई वुड से ओहो सूरज क्यों आता है उसको प्यास लगी होगी मतलब such funny idea. I don't know why is he coming there. So
Curiosity.
such and one thing also there was one who had one servant. His name was Mahmoud. Mahmoud would call him. I was very attached to him. I would take his tea, also go sheet chai. I would get scolded. My father didn't say. He said, okay, children, they like it. It's okay. But my auntie, she said, oh, what's happened to this girl? She's going to take sheet chai with that Mahmoud. He was somewhere in anger. I would really, वो कहते हैं कान के कीड़े मार देना. Tell me what is good. He would tell me stories. This is Googie. This is singing. That what is he saying? She says Gugu Gu Majlo inam kaj. What is it? My mother is beating me. काज उठ के वो इसके साथ मुझे चिलवटे के साथ मुझे पीटती है. मेरा भाई मुझे पीटता है. I would say why is she always beaten? Other girls beaten. क्यों? वो कहता है नहीं देखो ना अब चरखा चलाते थे उस जमाने में वो पोनी लेके बाहर पहनती गलत काम हुआ I said, yes, गलत काम हुआ तो पीटेगी, पिटाई पिटाई होगी. So he used to teach us कि what is good and what is bad, what you should do, what you should not do. That was interesting. He has come in so many. In Sati said also Maharju. I one episode. He has come in Alangali also. Because I have so many ones that I can, okay, let me give me this. Come on, I will go to take me to Pratap Park. Pratap Park was there. Pratap Park in
Yes.
Srinagar.
Pratap.
So he would take, okay, give me Mishra Makai or something. He would go. Nobody said, but I was the only person after his life. But anyway, I had some good memories. Anyway, this is that childhood. I told them what happened when I learned to some idea of language writing. So I wrote a poem. It was almost 14, 13. I wrote a
13 years.
poem. I shared the door. We had a room in my father's house for girls only. It was for girls for study. I closed the windows and doors, and I cried so much you won't believe. I cried, oh, nobody should listen. I'm shouting, crying, and I wrote a few lines. I mean, they were not great. This thing, Bhar
You
aata
remember?
jab, yeah, I
Yes,
remember.
please.
How can I
Please
forget the
recite.
first line? How भर आता जब ये मानव मन, understand, it's very childish type. भर आता जब ये मानव मन, तब मिटती घाव सजग होकर कुछ पीड़ा
Yeah.
सी देते, पलकें भीगी भीगी होकर दिखलाती अपना पागलपन. These four lines, and I
Oh,
cried so.
it's very matured
And
at that age. At 14, writing
I
such a
think
matured.
it was
Yeah.
something pent in my destiny. It came out. That's why when I talk
Yes.
about writing, I know whenever when I feel something I mean, I have to say this. It has to come out. I became really free. I was good. I felt good because I cried and I wrote those four lines. I think my writing
You unload, unwind, and unload yourself, relieve yourself
and my
by
writing
writing.
began from there. You can
Yes.
say. Then of course I didn't do much and then got married in early age and so many things.
We'll come to that, Chandrakanta. You will come to that. First of all, I'll begin. We'll go up and down and up. So it will be. Will
Yes, I'm
let us
also going
go.
here and also going here and there.
I
Anything
also
you can
like. I don't like the arrangement. I don't like arrangement. Step arrangement. Chronology मुझे पसंद नहीं है. Up down चलते में बहुत मजा आता है. Sense of वो
say.
होते हैं ना. Sense of wonder is there. So first of all, I would like to say, let's go to a very different genre. I would like to say what came directly to you. You said that you wrote first poetry that was beautiful. That was, I mean, at 14-year-old इतना जबरदस्त लिख सकता है. तो
But he
सारा
will
जो
love
होता है इम्पैशनेट होता है, अंदर से जो बाहर निकलना है उसके लिए वर्ड्स चाहिए, एक्सप्रेशन चाहिए. इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट, बट एनीवे इट हैपेंस एंड ऑल ग्रेट पीपल हैव दिस हैपनिंग्स.
growth.
But first of all, tell me one thing, that what came easily to you? Poetry,
Mm,
prose,
mm.
storytelling. What was your
What
natural genre? Natural genre:
poetry?
prose, poetry, storytelling. Yeah.
You see, stories I like, but first poetry came.
First came the
But
poetry. Okay. That-
because said I
yeah.
would write a few things here and there. My father once said, "What is she doing?" Jani Jaggi Dab. I have written. I remember now. I have at the age of 14, 15, I have written very serious poems because
Why?
I was by Mahadevi Burma and Prasad. They were great writers at that time.
Yeah, you
And
have read Mahadevi Verma and Prasad at a very young age.
uh-huh.
Mahavir Prasad, Mahadevi Verma. Yeah.
Mahadevi Burma. Panch was. You see, because something was that I liked him there. I
Mahadevi
loved
Verma
writing
is
because I could
class. I really love
express
her.
my.
I really poetry.
I remember then I grew a little bit. Then naturally Mahadev Verma was a great writer. ओ नव की
Great poet.
दीपावली हो पल भर को तुम बुझ जाना, मेरे प्रीतम को भाता है तम के पर्दे में
बहुत
आना.
मन को
When
छू
you
गए.
grow,
छायावाद,
such
छायावाद, छायावाद की कविताएं हैं वो. तो ma'am, you tell me one thing, that predominantly backdrop, it is presumed that because now we are running also towards time, we have to see the time parameters as well. So, what is the basically the backdrop of your novels has always been Kashmir. Not always, predominantly been Kashmir, and the women emancipation, women pathos. They are the primary two fundamental cores of your writing patterns. They are considered to be core of it. Tell us something. Did this expression? You already told a part of it came naturally to you, or
Hmm.
it transcended to some different dimensions. As your first poem was, I don't think it was a poem of impressionate poem. It was a poem which transcended your conscious subconscious levels. It came from higher consciousness. So this backdrop of Kashmir, because you were born there, you were raised there, you had impressionate memory of this life there, and then the superconscious mind. How did this come to you? This how long did it stay with you? This backdrop of Kashmir, the folk tales, narratives,
देखिए
interaction.
I will tell
Yeah,
your first experience about life, about when you start,
yes, please.
I mean knowing your it is your own, जहाँ से आप पैदा हुए हैं ना, वहीं से आपके
Hmm.
अनुभव होते हैं कहीं से. It,
Started.
naturally, when I wrote my first story, that also was about, you can say, old age, and maybe somewhere my father was there, or some. It was quite near my own circle. But then you start slowly, आपको अपने से बाहर आते हैं. तो ऐसा
जी.
हुआ मेरे साथ. पहले मैं लिख रही थी थोड़ा पारिवारिक कहानी, परिवार के, फैमिली के, उनके अबाउट रिलेशनशिप्स और जो भी
Okay.
होते हैं. You say basically you write about human emotions, what do human situations, different situations. तो ऐसे ही होते
Hmm.
कभी यहाँ पहले पहले. पर बाद में जो ही आप थोड़े बड़े हो जाते हैं, तो आप नेचुरली यू स्टडी ऑल्सो, बुक्स देखते हैं क्या हो रहा है, तो आपका विजन थोड़ा हो जाता है, एक्सपेंड हो जाता है. तो ऐसे ही हुआ मेरे साथ. अच्छा, वो मैं बहुत पहले, मैंने, मेरी पहली कहानी है अर्थांतर, पहला उपन्यास है,
Arthantar, yes,
नॉवल.
I've heard about it. Hmm.
इट्स अ वुमन ओरिएंटेड. तो मैं देखती थी औरत ही, जैसे आई हैड सीन दैट, आई टोल्ड यू दैट रोगिणी, एंड
Hmm.
द अदर लेडी आल्सो वाज देयर, who committed suicide. तो ये इम्प्रिंट था मन में, क्या हो रहा है औरतों के साथ, औरत कहाँ है. मैंने इसमें ये भी देखा अर्थांतर में, मैंने कहा कि औरत, देर आर सम नॉर्म्स, गर्ल्स शुड डू दिस एंड दैट, जैसे है सब जगह, वहाँ भी थे. तो मुझे लगा वेयर इज वोमन, वेयर इज शी.
Hmm.
वो तो कोई नहीं, किसी की माँ, किसी भाभी, किसी बहन, किसी का माँ, बस यही है. आखिर उसकी भी कुछ एम्बिशंस है, शी ऑल्सो हैज सम एम्बिशंस नेचुरली, शी इज ए ह्यूमन बीइंग.
Yes,
मुझे
that's
उसके
so.
ऊपर मैं अंतर. तो वो कभी कभी अपनी इच्छा जाहिर भी कर नहीं कर सकती, तो शी टेक्स अदर, उसमें लिखा है अदर वे, शी एक्सप्रेसेस हरसेल्फ, या शी डज व्हाटएवर शी वांट्स द अदर वे. हमेशा आप बंद नहीं रख सकते औरत को, ये करो ये मत करो. बट देन आई रोट द अदर नॉवल, दैट इज अंतिम साक्षी, विद महाराज शायद मेरे 13 एपिसोड उस पर अच्छा बनाया था. और कितनी दूर, दैट्स अबाउट ए फैमिली.
Okay.
Family, of course, woman also is there. Jainendra ji, I remember, was a great. He liked that very much. Where I had
Hmm.
come from Hyderabad when I came to Delhi. There, Hyderabad, we had no this low carbon, low carbon. No, they didn't believe that. There was not much about that. So दिल्ली में लोग बड़े शो, एक चीज भी लिखेंगे तो should come, people should know. So there was when Jagdish चल रही, he said no, we'll do something. Jैसे launch, book launching type of. I said, then I told me, when I came to Delhi, then I met Narendra Kohli. He was a great
Narendra.
writer. कोहली. तो ही सेड वी हैव गॉट ए मंच, यू तुम उसमें सेक्रेटरी बनो. तो मैंने कहा चल ठीक है, देखते हैं, आई विल मीट राइटर्स, आई लाइक टू मीट राइटर्स. तो काफ़ी ये आपके भीष्म साहनी वगैरह, आई मेट देयर, मनु बनर्जी देयर ओनली. तो आई
You
वाज
know, लोगों ने
वेरी
कश्मीर
वेरी.
पे लिखा है. They've also written on Kashmir. Bisham Sahni has
हाँ,
written for Kashmir, and others people have
नहीं
also written,
कोई,
but as a visitors, yeah.
खैर यहाँ तो ये है, ये सब है. तो बुक में ये अबाउट अर्थांतर आई वाज टेलिंग यू. तो ये सिर्फ
Krishna.
जैनेन्द्र जी, मैंने कहा जैनेन्द्र जी सच, ही वोंट कम, ही सेड नो, ही विल कम. तो जैनेन्द्र जब उनको बुक दी मेरी, उस पर अर्थांतर अंतिम साक्ष्य एक ही कवर में है. तो आई
Okay.
टोल्ड हिम फर्स्ट, आई वाज वेरी बिट शाय. I told him, how did you, मतलब did you like it or something like that, very hesitantly. I said, you see Chandrakanta, अर्थांतर मेरी समझ में नहीं आया. He was a great writer, he said this. That means he didn't like it. पर अंतिम साक्ष्य पढ़ के मुझे लगा तुम्हें गले लगाऊं. It was so nice of him. I told him, my husband also with me. I told him, why do you do that? Why don't you do that? He said, no, I am very old now. It was very interesting. But there were, he talked so much. Baba, do I deserve that much of praise? He liked that. You see, certain things you like, certain things you don't like. Anyway, you leave it there. So then I wrote, when I came to Delhi also, I wrote Alangali. Why? That was Manohar Sham Joshi, you must have heard his name. Oh God, बंद करना पड़ेगा. Manohar Sham
हाँ,
Joshi
ये
told me,
इसके दौरान this will disturb you.
बंद करो. हाँ.
Close
Manoj
connection.
Joshi said he was the editor in Hindustan. Not alone we were. He said, see, Arthantar like that, his words. Arthantar Vishyantar koi bhi likh sakta hai. Why don't you write something different? I said, what different? Anybody can write anything. Kalam haath mein to kuch bhi likh sakte. No.
Why not to
Write
write
about
different? Some
write
great.
about Kashmir. Really, I might have written, but not at that time. Because I was writing other things about women issues and this thing. So I said, what is there in Kashmir? वही सुख दुख जीना मरना सब कुछ जो है. He said, no, it's a rich culture. Nobody has written about that. Bhisham Sahan has
That's
written, Mohan Rao has written, Upendranath, so many people. But उनका एक सैलानी दृष्टि से बाहर से देख रहे हैं. वो घोड़े वाले को देख के सुंदरता देख के सुंदर सुंदर औरतें. Emerging call. Okay, I'll correct. Shut up. तो somebody is calling. तो मैंने वो कह रहे वो बाहर से तुम अंदर से देखो. आप कहीं भी मैंने नहीं देखा. बीच जाने के थोड़ा सा तो मगर कोई पहले मुझे लगता कि हिंदू
तो
है ही
सॉइल
नहीं.
के साथ, जब आप सॉइल के साथ जुड़े ना हो तो यू कैन नॉट राइट अबाउट द
नहीं,
सागा
you
ऑफ
cannot.
लैंड.
And he's a great writer, but he also has not written.
They were the
तो
brilliant
मैंने
people.
chose a gully. I thought middle class. I thought about middle class. वहाँ जो हिंदू मुसलमान इकट्ठे रहते थे हम बाना मोहल्ला साइड में डाउन. I chose that gully. And it was so interesting. मुझे भी अच्छा लगा. फिर कैसे क्या क्या आपको पढ़ना चाहिए अलहमदुलिल्लाह. You can write it. It has been translated. Street in Srinagar. It was done. Called DSC prize. It was shortlisted. बट एनीवे लैंग्वेज में इतना थोड़ा फर्क पड़ता है. मज़ा नहीं आता. तो वहाँ पर आप सुनकर अजीब सा लगेगा. राजकमल के पास में गई. मेरे ब्रदर आए थे. मैंने उनसे कहा. वो बोले नहीं मैंने सिफारिश करूँगा. गो आगे डू प्रोफेसर पंता's daughter. Don't tell me सिफारिश नहीं चलेगा. So I said okay. I went to Sheila Sandhu. She was a great. She died recently. She said, okay, I will see this. Believe me, she called me and she was it was difficult to talk to her. With the bang lady. She called me to come to my house, home. It was in Lajpat Nagar. Krishna Surti also. She was a great writer. Krishna
So
Surti. She also was. Dear Chandrakanta, today I knew what is Kashmir. It was such, I liked it. Only I didn't know Kashmir. I didn't know Srinagar. कि बाहर से कोई घोड़े वाले की बात कर रहा, कोई होता की बात, हाथों की बात कर रहा, कोई सुंदर सुंदर औरतों की बात कर रहा, कोई ब्यूटी की बात. ब्यूटी इज देयर नो डाउट. पर वहाँ पर वो लोग भी रहते हैं, जमीन से जुड़े लोग. तो वो एक वो जो बोलते हैं समन्वयवादी, उसे कहते हैं अमलगमेटेड. जैसे हिंदुइज्म है, शैविज्म है, बुद्धिज्म है. उससे मिलकर हमारा जो कश्मीरियत बनी थी वो हमने वहाँ देखी थी. आज वो नहीं. आज वो नेचुरली थिंग्स हैव चेंज नाउ.
that was
तो
synthesis
वो बहुत
of
इंटरेस्टिंग लगे.
tradition. Yeah.
अब have changed. So many things have happened since then.
But
After
this
that I looked also.
Alan Gali Hazir hai, a street in Srinagar, which was also translated and went for a prize for a South Asian prize. But the transition between your magnum opus, which is known as magnum opus, this Sati Sir, Katha Sati Sir, Saga of
Yes.
Sati Sir, and Alan Gali. What happened? What is the general difference in the content, style, and
Yeah.
presentation of this time gap in between? Yeah.
बिल्कुल. Of course, I wrote two novels in between. अपने अपनी corner. We were in Bhubaneswar also. My first sisters. I wrote about that. That is a good.
It's a beautiful one. Name is title is very fascinating.
Because Pratik symbolic. Is it the
Yeah.
story basically, but with family also. So then I wrote Vitasta. Because it is my father.
That's that. Okay.
Vitasta Bhakti was married. Then when this exodus happened, we were in Bhubaneswar. We had come to Delhi. Then my husband he took early retirement. We were supposed to go to Srinagar. My father-in-law, mother-in-law, they didn't leave Srinagar. Because they said Hyderabad, that was okay. They used to come to us for a month or so, and then would go. Naturally, you would like our place. Kashmir is like that. So they also left poor things with one attachee and all that thing also suffered. My mother-in-law got a shock. She didn't survive that. She went to my brother-in-law is in USA. She went there and she died there. But anyway, we also lost everything. See, in the meantime, we were actually in downtown first, Banamola side, it must be known. But then we had built a new house, a beautiful house in Karanagar. Because we thought when we come back, we have to come back to Srinagar. We never thought we'll leave this. When in
Leave
Hyderabad
Obama
is a
forever.
place in Banjara Hills, you must have heard. My husband got, he said, we'll get a plot. I said, no, I can't service is okay, but I have to be back. But anyway, it had not to happen. And we ended up in this Haryana. Now I am Haryanvi. 33 years are there. I got so many prizes from Haryana because I am Haryanvi. What can you do? I don't belong anywhere. You must know it that whenever you go, they ask you, where are you from? I say, I am from India. Outside, my son is in San Francisco, he's working there. So he said, I'm in from India. India is okay, but where from you? I live in my city, Haryana. No, but where are you? They will eat your brains. You have to tell where. I said, oh, of course, I'm Kashmir. Okay, you are refugees from Kashmir? I said, I am not refugee. I had left you, कहते हैं ना, निकल पड़े थे घर से आबदाने को, निकल पड़े थे घर से आशा रहने का शहर आबदाने को, पलट के आए तो पाया ना आशियाने को. That's what happened to us. What could you do? We also lost everything, whatever was there.
So
दीदी
you
का घर
talked
होता
about
है.
from Alan Gully to the Saga of Sati Sir. We come to Saga of Sati Sir, the one of your best novels.
मैंने लिखा जब ये निष्कासन हुआ ना, जब एक्सोडस हुआ, at that time it first up I knew what's happening. Was it happened to with us also? We left for slowly, and then that night and came in 90. It was in 90s. So I then because I studied also. I studied for 2 years all these historical books and all that because I wanted to know Kashmir right from the beginning, पौराणिक काल से. मैंने पौराणिक काल से is you can say it's a socio-political novel. सोसाइटी कैसे इवॉल्व हुआ, क्या हुआ. मुझे लगा मैं इसको थोड़ा सा बताती हूँ. कुछ तो कमेंट्स है इस पर जो लोगों ने किया है. वो लिखा कथा सदी सर चंद्रकांता's mega novel which is when I got Vyas Saman, written against the background of terror, violence and atrocities in Kashmir Valley without raising the slogans of liberation of women. The novel significantly depicts the plight of women suppressed under the domination of men and suffering the consequences of terrorism. Like other things they has written, क्योंकि उसमें women सब naturally women भी suffer करते हैं, बल्कि वो doubly suffer करते हैं आतंकवाद में जो होता है. काफी कुछ लिखा गया उसके बारे में. काफी we got nice response.
No, that's a Katha Sati Sagar. The Vyas Saman was one of the highest and prestigious. And research has been done. I have heard that 70 research papers have been done on this Katha Sati.
Even now people are doing. I told them, Baba, आप कितना खींचोगे इसको? He said, no, we are. Because nothing has changed in Kashmir. What has happened? Tell me. Has anything changed? जब वहां से निकल गए थे सब कश्मीरी बेचारे लेके, आज भी वही वाला जो जाता मारा जाता है. कहाँ जाते हैं कश्मीरी वापस?
You seem to have been inspired by Katha Sarit Sagar Somadeva with this title, Soma compiler of those kathas in those times, 11th century.
वो गुनाह डिवंसी में मैंने वो करता, मैं चाहती थी बताना आपको, पर वो मुझे मिली नहीं. मैं अगर थोड़ा टाइम है मैं आपको बताती हूँ. कितनी बड़ी थोड़ा सा एक्चुअली जो करता सुनाना चाहती थी वो मुझे अभी मिल नहीं रही. लंबी भी है वो मुश्किल है. मैं ये बताना चाहती हूँ कि हमें बड़े आश्वासन मिले. हाँ जी हो जाएगा, तुम लोग घर जाओगे, घर वापसी हो जाएगी. उस पर मैंने लिखा है, तन से ही नहीं मन से भी लड़ाई लड़ता है आदमी. समझदारियों को धकियाता रणों में लहू लुहान. चेतता नहीं न भूलता है शोक मनाना. गीता ज्ञान के प्रकाश के बीच कहते थे ठीक है जो कर्मणि वाधिकार से. टूट गए ठिकानों की ईंटों में चिन्ह, सीमेंट देवदार या 4 बांसों पर टिके कोटर में रोक देता है उम्मीदें और स्वप्न. अगली पीढ़ियों को सौंपने मिट्टी के गीत, मिट्टी हुए पुरखों की गंध. पकड़ता है छोटा सिरा कि भटक न जाएं बदहवासियों के चौराहों पर. बेगाम न हो अजन्मे बच्चे, न भूलें चश्मा शाही के पानी का स्वाद. अरनिवाल और महजूर के गीत, कुम्हार की जाई के लिए मालाएं गूंथता कवि और सदाएं देती यूसुफ को हब्बा दीवानी. हवाओं से लड़ते चीर क्या देखते होंगे झील में इतिहास की परछाइयां. पोखरों में उचक आते कमल सुनते होंगे जरूर हर मुख पर बिखरी आस्थाओं अरदासों की चीख. मेरे हाथों की छुअन के लिए उदास कोतर खान की बतखें क्या भूलेंगी हारी पर्वत से गुपकार तक बिखरी कहानियां। समय नीति में चिने गए मेरे स्वप्नों, मेरे पुरखों की आस्थाओं अपनी मिट्टी से उखड़ कर मैं उखड़ रही हूँ मैं, औरों की भूलों का प्रायश्चित, और सह रही हूँ छाती के पीपल बने छोटे बड़े आश्वासन। ये ना कि सब ठीक हो जाए,
वाह,
इट इज नॉट हेल्पिंग अस, क्योंकि इतने सालों में भी कोई आश्वासन पूरा नहीं हुआ। पर खैर फिर भी जो भी हुआ सो भी हुआ, इसके बाद भी उम्मीद तो नहीं छोड़ते हैं, उम्मीद नहीं छोड़ते, क्योंकि उम्मीद पर ही जिंदा, जैसे मैंने कहा ना, हम प्रेवेसिस ढूंढते कहाँ से क्या करें। अब मैं समझती हूँ काफी शायद समय हो गया है आपका।
थोड़ा सा मैम विल, यस प्लीज, यू वांट टू?
बोले नहीं, बोले मैं चाहती थी अगर मुझे मिल जाए, मैं निकाला था जो वो लंबी करता, वो नहीं होगी अभी। मैं चाहती थी थोड़ा सा आपको बता दूँ, देखिए अगर इसमें मिले तो देखते हैं। मैंने तो बंद ही कर दिया इसको, इसका गला ही मैंने बोल दिया। तो काफी लोग बोलते हैं ना भूल जाओ, कहते हैं कश्मीर पर बहुत हुआ, क्या लिख रहे हो गया। अब देखो मैं उनसे एक ही बात कहती हूँ, मैं कहती हूँ कुछ चीजें भूली नहीं जाती। वो कहते थे पार्टीशन में, इसमें कोई शक नहीं, पार्टीशन में तो बहुत बड़ा, नेहरू ने से कहा था ह्यूमन अर्थक्वेक, बहुत था। और मैं ये कहती हूँ वो सबके साथ हुआ, वो हिंदू मुसलमान सिख ईसाई सभी के साथ हुआ। यहाँ पर तो अब ठीक है, दुख तो पाया, दोनों ने पाया, मुसलमानों ने भी बहुत दुख पाया। मैं तो कहती हूँ ये आतंकवाद जो होती है दो-धारी तलवार होती है, जो
जी
उठाता है और जिसकी तरफ उठाता है, दोनों को मारता है, छेदता है दोनों को। पर देखिए ये तो है, यहाँ पर एक बार जेएनयू में हुआ था, एक सेमिनार हुआ था, वहां पर हम बोल रहे थे, तो एक मुसलमान भाई था, वो बोला आप तो हिंदुओं के बारे में ही बोलते हैं, मुसलमानों के बारे में नहीं बोलते। तो मैंने रोका था उनको, बीच में उनको बोली थी, मैंने कहा आप कथा सती से पढ़ी, उसमें मुसलमानों का भी दुख लिखा है, उन माओं का
करेक्ट।
दुख, जिनके बच्चे जाते मारे जाते हैं, टांगे वांगे टूट के आ जाते हैं वापस। तो सभी लोग जहादवाद में उसके पक्ष में नहीं है। तो ठीक है, पर ऐसे दुख तो पाया सभी ने। मैं देखती हूँ अगर मुझे नहीं लगता इतनी जल्दी आपके पास टाइम है, मैं देख रही हूँ उसको, अगर मिल जाए
कोई
तो।
बात नहीं, कोई बात नहीं, यू कैन टेक योर टाइम।
नहीं, हाउ कैन आई टेक माय टाइम, आई कैन टेक योर टाइम। एक्चुअली मैं आईपैड पर ही लिखती हूँ, थोड़ा सा सोचती थी मेरी आता होता नहीं, थोड़ा चाहती हूँ बोलना है तो बहुत, मेरा अभी उठना बैठना पॉसिबल नहीं होगा। चलिए मैं आपको, ठीक है, मैं उदासियों वाला में बताऊंगी, एक मिनट आ रही, वो मैं एक से सुनाऊंगी थोड़ा जल्दी, छोटा सा ये दरखास्त, ये थोड़ी सी उम्मीद मैंने रखी है इसमें।
हाँ चलिए प्लीज, होप पे
जाओगे उस
बोलिए, होप इज गुड।
जाओगे उस तरफ तो देख आना मेरा गांव, सालों से न देखा न छुआ, नरगिसी वसंत और बर्फीले शिशिर का मायावी कोलाज। पहचान लेना वहां कुहुकती थी कुकिल, चिनार की छतरियों तले हमारी लाई से तान मिलाती टहनियां लांग पींगू संग। मैंने बच्चे पींगे डोली बचपन में बहुत पेड़ पर। वहां छलकती थी मधुमती, मेरे ननिहाल में बहती थी, वहां छलकती
मधु,
थी मधुमती भरी भरी खिलंदड़ी, पहुंचाती हंसी आसमानों तक आबशारों में। देख आना पेड़ों तले गिराए होंगे सुबह ने गोद कर कुछ अध खाए सेब, हमारी झोलियों में भटूरने के लिए जैसे टोकरी बरसों। ले आना उठाकर वे शबरी के बेर, कि नायाब सौगातें बिकती नहीं बाजारों में। बौराई नहीं भाई, जानती हूँ स्मृतियों उम्मीदों के बीच दहशत का आलम है, हवा में घुली सिसकियां और दमघोट धुआं है, जो था वो नहीं है, बारूदी धाएं दमक बीच गूंगा है पोषणों, लेकिन शाश्वत तो कुछ भी नहीं, मरणोत्सवों पर भारी पड़ता है जीवन। कह देना पंखियों से बचाए रखे अपनी आवाज, पंखों की ओट दे आले बाले रखे उम्मीदों के दिए। मुझे आना है, पता नहीं आओगी कि नहीं, मुझे आना है बादवारी की बौर गंध में सुननी पोषणूल की वासन की पुकार, श्री कृष्ण गोपियो, श्री कृष्ण गोपियो। इसकी आवाज है, इसमें मैंने कहानी
ब्यूटीफुल।
भी लिखी है पोषणूल की आपसे। ठीक है, अब यादें हैं वो
क्वेश्चनों की
है।
वापसी है। Poshnul seems to be very much a great metaphor you used.
ओरियो,
Many
या
is a
इज ए वेरी ब्यूटीफुल।
punchy. Yeah.
हाँ, बहुत ही सुंदर पक्षी, ओरियोल बोलते हैं शायद, गोल्डन ओरियोल बोलते हैं उसको। वो
कश्मीरी में
कश्मीर
क्या
में
बोलते हैं?
और पोशनूल
कश्मीर क्या?
बोलते हैं उसको,
Poshnul.
पोशनूल।
I've
मैंने
never
सुना
seen
श्री
it.
कृष्ण, हाँ, अच्छा,
Okay.
गांव में होता है, ऐसे ननिहाल में देखा है। पोशनूल, वो कहते हैं वो श्री कृष्ण गोपियो व्हाट इज एंड टोपियो, कश्मीरी नाम है, तुम्हारे सिर पर टोपी नहीं है। ऐसे बोलते हैं श्रीलंका में तो।
Chandrakanta ji, I would like to ask one quick question that since you are very much impressed by the heritage, the ancient heritage of Kashmir, I mean,
हेरिटेज,
besides Somadeva and other, I mean, this is, I mean,
होनाड
there are
के
many.
कहते हैं,
Shamindra is there, Abhinav Gupta, yeah,
क्या, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल
Shamindra,
उसका।
Abhinav Gupta, all these people, Nagarjuna, and even other people who went from here, Sharang Deva and other people. Have you studied a bit of the Sanskrit literature of Kashmir, which was nothing but an Indian literature, the Vedic literature?
संस्कृत लिटरेचर मैंने लैंग्वेज में अनुवाद में पढ़ा है। राजतरंगिणी मैंने कोशिश की पढ़ने की, थोड़ी थोड़ी बहुत, मतलब उससे भी कुछ मैंने लिया है, काफी कुछ लिया है उससे
इस
भी।
तरह की नहीं
मैं
तो
एक्चुअली
खैर
आपको
स्टेट
जाना, मैंने लिखा, और फिर बाद में सूफी संतों के बारे में, अब जैसे लाल दत्त पर मैंने बहुत लिखा है। लाल दत्त जो
अच्छा
कबीर
ललित
से
देवरट है।
तो उससे 1 सेंचुरी पहले हुई है लाल दत्त,
हाँ
कबीरदास
यो
14वीं में। तो उसका उसने भी हिंदू उस वक्त था ना, उसने कहा है शेवची थले थले रोजान मोजाद में उन्हें तो मुसलमान त्रुखी सुख पन्नी पान पर जान सोई छे साहिब वसीत असली जान। उस वक्त जो
मुझे लगता
कहते हैं
है
ना 11 घर,
इस कॉपलेट पे थोड़ा सा मतलब वो थोड़ा रिजर्वेशन बिकॉज इट इज सेड दैट 14th सेंचुरी में ललित वाज इट वाज जस्ट द पेरिफेरी एट द पेरिफेरी दीस आउटसाइडर्स केम इन्वेजन तो पेरिफेरी पे हुआ ललित का जो है वो प्योर अनएडल्टर्ड अनकरप्टेड प्योर जो सॉइल से निकली हुई कश्मीरी है ना ल्यूसिड कश्मीरी जो बनिए की कश्मीरी है जो जलाहे की कश्मीरी है she spoke in that language and she was all shivism and she wanted the stagnation which had happened in the society उसको ट्रांसेंड करें हम लोग जो हम लोग
बेसिकली
मतलब
शायद योगी नहीं थी वो, पर वो समाज के देखती थी। तभी जो
यस
हिंदू मुस्लिम में थोड़ा भाव आया था ना, उसको मिटाना चाहती थी। उसके बाद
या
न्याय ऋषि हुए।
यू आर एज अ राइटर तो आप लोग आपका तो बहुत योर कंट्रीब्यूशन इज वेरी लोग पढ़ते नहीं अगर साहित्य पढ़े आपकी किताबें पढ़े आइए।
आज लाइफ मैंने इस पर गुजारी है कश्मीर में, बल्कि आप लोग कहते हैं भूल जा, मैं अक्सर नहीं बोल सकते।
नहीं भूल
ठीक
तो
है।
सकते नहीं हम नहीं बोल सकते तो ये मैं पूछना चाहता हूँ कि जो आपके जो सब्जेक्ट्स है मैंने ये भी सुना है आई आल्सो हर्ड अबाउट दिस फैक्ट that your concept of woman dignity of woman because you are a well read person you have been exposed to the Indian literature oriental literature Hindi literature English literature your father was in so you understand and you have a very very wider consciousness you understand the dignity of an Indian woman is much better than what we ape in the West. So you have a kind of a people say that Chandrakanta ji has some a bit of bias that she says that no India dignity of women, emancipation of women, but our own with our own esteem and dignity, not the physical only in the terms of the cycle of the physical dimension, but the higher dimensions. Is it so?
नहीं, वो तो है। देखिए, औरत के पास धड़ ही नहीं है ना, ये भी है, ये शरीर भी है और दिमाग भी है। वो जनरली
Consciousness
हम
भी
भूल
है.
जाते हैं, औरत वॉल फ्लावर ही तो नहीं है ना औरत, उसकी भी दिमाग है। हमने कभी ध्यान ही नहीं दिया। वो कुछ भी बोली, इट वॉज मैंस वर्ल्ड। काफी पुरानों से देखिए, कहीं से भी देखिए, हमेशा यत्र नार्यस्तु पूरन्ति पूजन्ते नमन्ते तत्र देवता वालों ने भी, हाँ, वो कहते हैं ना, जब गार्गी ने प्रश्न पूछा याज्ञवल्क्य से, तो 2 प्रश्न तो पूछे, तीसरे को बोला नो, तीसरा नहीं। क्यों? उसको डर लगा कि कहीं मैं उसका जवाब ना दे पाऊं तो क्या होगा मेरा। या भाकर आप हिस्ट्री में देखें, कहीं भी देखिए, आप स्त्रियां तो वही मानी जाती, आपकी विषकन्याएं आप किस लिए यूज की जाती, दे हैव बीन यूज्ड आई थिंक, या तो उनको दिया नहीं जगह, या तो ये थोड़ा सा इरिटेट करना
टाइम
से
में
आप
तो
देख,
these things were there, yeah. मेल
आप
स्लेव्स का
थोड़ा
तो ओरिएंट में तो मेल स्लेव्स का कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं है बट इन द अदर पार्ट्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड मैसेडोनियन सिविलाइजेशन में मेल बट फीमेल्स का जो ये है विश कन्या वगैरह तो हमारे यहाँ है इट इज फ्रॉम द टाइम
हाँ, बिल्कुल
इमेमोरियली
था,
यस
राजा महाराजा तो वही करते थे। नहीं, पर अब बात ये है कि अब चीजें बहुत बदल गई हैं, women have become very conscious about their अस्मिता के प्रश्न पर। वो कृष्णा सोर्ती ने ही शुरू किया था, फिर आगे आगे आए उषा प्रेमदा, मनु भंडारी, फिर आगे आप लोग आ रहे थे। अब कभी कभी कोई विरोध आता है, दुश्मनी होती, मुझे पसंद नहीं हो। अब किससे दुश्मनी करेंगे? आदमी आपका पिता भी है, भाई भी है, पति भी है, दोस्त भी है, बेटा भी है, कहाँ से दुश्मनी करेंगे? तो आई थिंक दे शुड, woman should get her own place. She should be recognized as a human being. That's all.
Yeah.
बाकी ठीक है.
What provokes you? What provokes you as a literature, such a, well, you are a legend literature. Your contribution is voluminous, it's prolific. What provokes you? What saddens you in the contemporary change of times, change of parameters, even in terms of only literature and social parameters? What really, where you feel sad about the change in the society, present society?
देखिए, चेंज इन सोसाइटी, एक तो जैसे घरों में चेंज है, यू कैन से दैट वन
Yeah,
चेंज इज दैट. दूसरा पूरे दुनिया में चेंज है, और हमारे पॉलिटिक्स में चेंज है. अब वो पॉलिटिक्स तो नहीं है जो मुझे
quality of
बहुत
life.
पढ़ती थी, बट अब थिंग्स हैव चेंज. सो मैं, कुर्सी वाले हैं ज़्यादा, वो आप जानते हैं, उसको मैं इसमें जाऊंगी नहीं ज़्यादा. तो वो नॉर्म रहे नहीं. हमारे पॉलिटिक्स में भी बहुत फर्क आ गया है. और देश हमारे चारों तरफ क्या होता है, औरतें मारी जाती, टुकड़े किए जाते. With all that, when we get all rights we have got, Constitution has given us so many rights. Where are they?
Very.
सोसाइटी ने दिए नहीं राइट्स. अगर कानून नहीं दिए, सोसाइटी ने नहीं दिया, आज भी नहीं दे रहा है. तो women have become violent in some way. Writers also become violent. But you can't say anything. They say no, we have suffered so much. But now I tell them, we have suffered. Why should our children? उनको उसका बदला नहीं लेना चाहिए, बदले की भावना नहीं चाहिए. बाकी तो औरतें तो अपने हक की बात करेंगी. They have to talk. They have to say. वो कहना,
Chandrakanta ji,
they
you are, yes, you are a living example of a person who is, I mean, who is born in 1938 or 39. So you've crossed to 80, and you are still agile, intelligent. You are moving around. You are working. You have a very very young heart, and you live wonderfully. So I wanted
are
to
so
ask,
good.
as a healer, I want to ask one question. Don't you think this writing, reading, literature, this creativity is something which is antidote to this sadness, which is growing into the society, which is going into our disconnect? Like we have people who are suffering from insomnia, stress, youngsters. So don't you think that literature, whether you write it, you create it, or you read it, it is an antidote to all these things? ये इलाज है
बिल्कुल
इन सब बीमारियों का.
है. दैट इज ट्रू. मुझे भी लगता है काफी दिन अगर मैं नहीं लिखती, मुझे लगता है कुछ बेचैनी से, आई शुड डू समथिंग. अब मैं लिखती हूँ, आई फील सो गुड, आई फील सो रिलीव्ड. ऐसा जो कथा से फिर करके ना, मैं आई फील रिलीव्ड. बट व्हेन आई वाज राइटिंग, मैं बहुत टेंशन भी था, क्योंकि तो सच सब्जेक्ट मार कार्ड वो सब, यू हैव टू राइट अबाउट दैट. मैंने तो वहाँ पर
Yeah.
उन लोगों के नाम भी लिखे हैं जो आज बने हैं लीडर पे. अब तो खैर जेल में है वो. तो मेरे हस्बैंड बोले, क्यों कर रहे हो, तुम तो मर जाओगी, मेरे को भी मरवाओगी. पीपल यूज टू वर्क एट दैट टाइम ऑल्सो. मुश्ताक मुझे याद है, वो मेरा कश्मीर से उसने किया है शो, तो मैंने उसको कथा से देसर नहीं दी. मुझे लगा क्योंकि उस वक्त टॉप पर था ये. मुझे लगा बिकॉज आई रिटन द नेम्स, दे कुड कम एंड किल मी. बट एनीवे, वो राइटर ही क्या, वो कहते हैं ना, किसने बोला है, उसने कहा कि अगर आप सच नहीं लिख सकते तो आपको लिखना छोड़ देना चाहिए. कितना पॉलिश करेंगे आप? यू हैव टू राइट द ट्रूथ. उसके लिए थोड़ा
And
खतरा तो.
आपका जो ये जो आप कहानी, मतलब कथाकार है, मतलब आप लिटरेचर जो साहित्यकार, आप इतनी हैं समृद्ध, तो आप का नाम इतनी रिस्पेक्ट से लिया जाता है. ये व्हाट इज द, डू यू गिव सम क्रेडिट टू योर फैमिली आल्सो, बिकॉज राइटिंग सो मच फॉर an Indian lady, the traditional Indian lady who belongs to
Was it
traditional middle class family, it is not an easy job.
नहीं, ऐसा है, दैट्स ट्रू. अगर होता नहीं उनका, अगर वो मना करते, पहले तो मैं मानती नहीं, मगर अगर कर दे तो मुश्किल
Okay,
होता मेरा.
but your
क्योंकि
children
सवा से
also, children also.
मैं बच्चों से सीखती हूँ. मेरे ग्रैंड चिल्ड्रन है, उनसे पूछती हूँ सलाह.
Okay.
अब तो ये सब तो मुझे आता ही नहीं था, अब सीखा थोड़ा बहुत. तभी आपने बोला तो जल्दी क्यों नहीं करती. आप बुढ़ापे में तो आई डोंट गिव अप, आई डोंट वांट टू. बट अब मेरी हेल्थ तो ठीक
That's
है,
so
मेरी
wonderful. That's so good. Is Devananda has very
स्ट्रिक्ट है.
well said somewhere in the Romancing of Life. He has said that when you Simi Grewal asked him a question in Rendezvous with Simi Grewal. She's a very intelligent questioner. She asked him that what will happen when you grow old. He said that never ask a man that you grow old. We only mature. We mature. We don't grow old. And
मैं भी बोल
till the time
बोलते
you
हैं
are
मैं
creating,
कहते
till the time you are creating, you are working, you are licking, you are doing everything wonderfully, you are agile. Moment you stop creativity, everything will
gone.
change. Your body will change. Your thinking will change.
That's
So
true.
I would
One
like
thing
one
is
more
life,
thing to ask.
life
Yes,
keeps it
please.
up. Just
Yes.
keeps you alive. Keeps you alive. मैं मेरी अभी 2 किताबें इसी साल आई हैं। एक नॉवल
कौन
आया
सी वाली?
राजकमल, एक नॉवल आया है समय अश्व बेलगाम, समय के
हाँ.
घोड़े को लगाम नहीं दे सकती। समय इट्स अ नाइस नॉवल, अभी अच्छी आई है उसकी भी रिएक्शंस।
You
और आए
prefer
हैं कुछ
you prefer you prefer a novel over everything because you think it is a wider scope of writing. It is a larger
वाइड।
canvas.
और बाकी कहानी
Novel is
मैंने 200 लिखी, 200 स्टोरीज। अब मैं कहती हूँ
never
ऐसा
written
कुछ
a
है
lot
ही
of
नहीं,
stories.
थोड़ा क्या लिखूं, इट विल रिपीटिशन। पर ठीक है, व्हेन यू फील समथिंग यू राइट। अभी भी लिख रहा, अभी मेरा ये आ रहा है, ये मेमोइर्स अभी आ गए, अभी आ रहे
Hmm.
हैं यात्रा वर्णन, ट्रेवलॉग्स, वो देश
Yatra,
विदेश के
travel.
अभी आ
Let's
जाएंगे
talk about
जल्दी।
your memoirs. You wrote memoirs. What are these memoirs all about? Are they biographical fiction, or they purely biographical, or the imagery,
नहीं मैंने,
anecdotes? What are they all about? You have written 3 books of memoirs.
हाँ कुछ तो लिखा है। देखिए कई हिस्से हैं, जैसे ये है मेरे भोजपत्र, ये देखिए ये है, देखिए मेरे पास है भोजपत्र, मतलब आपका।
Yeah, yeah.
इसमें एक हिस्सा आपका अपना कश्मीर है ऊपर, कुछ कुछ आपका अपना निजी होता है। मेरे भोज जब मैंने अपने उस पर क्या लिखा है, कुछ तो अपनी है अपने, जब मैं मुझे पिता के जैसे माँ के बारे में बता, कुछ ऐसी चीजें मैं तो बता सकती हूँ। तो ये एक हिस्सा, उसको 2-3 पार्ट्स किया है इसमें। एक तो है आपका निजी जीवन, कैसा क्या, कैसे क्या किया अपने जीवन में, जो कुछ किया। फिर दूसरा है फिर रचना प्रक्रिया, लिखना, लिखा
Sure.
कैसे किया, लिखना हुआ क्या हुआ। और तीसरा कश्मीर मेरी स्मृतियों का घर, कश्मीर में उसमें वही सब लाल देद सूफी का उदाहरण, काफी कुछ है कश्मीर पर जो हुआ है। राजतरंगिणी के बारे में है, गुनागड़ी पंडित के उर्दू फारसी साहित्य के बारे में,
गुनाथ से शुरू करा होगा राजतरंगिणी,
राष्ट्र, वो सब है इसमें, सब मैं
नीलमठ
कहती हूँ तो
पुराण.
काफी। और हाँ, और बाद में मैंने लिखा है विस्थापन का साहित्य, जो विस्थापन
हाँ.
हो गया ना, तब के लोगों ने लिखा उस पर, उनको भी मैंने मेंशन किया है। थोड़ा ठीक लिखना चाहिए, टाइम जहाँ तक हम हैं, आगे तो क्या होगा कौन जानता है।
It's good. It's good. I mean, it's very inspiring. At this time, you're still working, and it inspires us all. We learned a lot today in the conversation with you. What is your message? What message you would like to go to the youngsters of today, in
यंगस्टर,
general? I mean, all youngsters across the globe, because program is watched across the globe. Yeah.
बिल्कुल एक चीज भी है कि आई डोंट थिंक वी कैन टीच चिल्ड्रन मच बिकॉज देयर इज सो मच नॉलेज एवरीवेयर। इफ यू कॉल इट नॉलेज, you see who said this whatever is internet and all that, it gives you a lot of knowledge, isn't it? Is it knowledge?
Information,
But
knowledge. Yeah. Not the
you
wisdom.
can Suchina, we call it information. But you see, they can't make, who said it? I don't remember the name. Said, but it can't make you a good son or good daughter. It has got not that capacity. It can't
Hmm.
teach you. It can't make you a good person. So, my Mandi, he says, save your olive tree. What is that olive tree? मैं इसको मानती हूँ आपके संस्कार जो आपके पीछे से मिला है, अगर आप आपका निजत्व बोलते हैं, इफ यू कैन कीप दैट अपना, सब डोंट मेक कुकी कटर कल्चर बोलते हैं ना, उसका हिस्सा मत करो। अपनी आइडेंटिटी दिखाना चाहिए तुम्हें, गिव समथिंग ऑफ योर ओन। अब संस्कार बोले, मुझे उससे चिढ़ नहीं है, अच्छी चीजें भी होती हैं संस्कार में, नम्रता होता है, प्यार होता है, मोहब्बत होता है, आपसदारी होती है, वो भी तो संस्कार है। नम्रता
संवेदनशीलता है.
होती है जो खत्म होती जा रही। आप खाना खाने बैठे हैं 4 दिन, सभी अपने इसमें मोबाइल, आप खाना खाते हैं मोबाइल में, बात नहीं कर पाते आप, वो
अपने अपने
बात
रूम्स
करनी
में
तो
जाते
खत्म हो गया खत्म हो गया जिसका। बट ठीक है, इसने काफी कुछ दिया है, तभी तो हम आपसे बात कर रहे हैं। दोनों
हैं.
साइड्स हैं, बट थोड़ा सा, वो कहा था ना ललदत ने, सोमी खेमाल सोमी आसक सोमी
So
मुचरने भरनन तेरी, मिडिल पार्ट, take the middle part, take something from here, something here, don't leave everything। हमारा क्या हो,
moderation, samavastha. Yeah. That's so wonderful. That's so well. That couplet is so wonderful. And thank you very much, चंद्रकांता जी. आप हमारे प्रोग्राम में आए, बहुत अच्छा लगा. and we learned a lot. Although you are an ocean in yourself, and talking to you for hours together will be a quite a score of wisdom we are going to attain. But because of time constraints and other things as well, so we have to cut this program. But before you go, I would like to ask you. I wish you all the best, good health, long life, creativity, and keep inspiring all of us all the time. Best wishes to your family or everybody. But before you go, tell us something about your favorite number. I heard that there was one program. I heard some song of you liked. I got that prepared here. That videos with me. What is your favorite song? Can you recollect? Ajib Dasta
uh,
hai. There was you said something.
और जैसे कि अजीब दास्तां है ये कहाँ
कहाँ शुरू
शुरू
कहाँ खत्म.
कहाँ शुरू कहाँ खत्म ये
ये
जिंदगी
मंजिलें
ऐसे
हैं
ही
कौन सी.
हाँ न हम समझ सके न तुम I
That's
remember
a
this
beautiful song. That's a wonderful song.
Meena Kumar it was sang it was a beautiful
Thank
song
you very much.
why don't you
Thank
sing
you very
that
much.
this
Chandrakanta ji, I'm
beautiful
going to play that, and yeah.
thank you very much
अजीब दास्तां है ये, कहाँ शुरू कहाँ खत्म, ये मंजिलें हैं कौन सी, न वो समझ सके न हम, अजीब दास्तां है ये, कहाँ शुरू कहाँ खत्म, ये मंजिलें हैं कौन सी, न वो समझ सके न हम. ये रोशनी के साथ क्यों धुआं उठा चिराग से, ये रोशनी के साथ क्यों धुआं उठा चिराग से, ये ख्वाब देखती हूँ मैं कि जब पड़ी हूँ ख्वाब से, अजीब दास्तां है ये, कहाँ शुरू कहाँ खत्म, ये मंजिलें हैं कौन सी, न वो समझ सके न हम.
अजीब दास्तां है ये, कहाँ शुरू कहाँ खत्म, ये मंजिलें हैं कौन सी, न तुम समझ सके न हम. That was a favorite, wonderful song, and this is one of the favorite song of Chandrakanta Vishin ji. I hope you loved this program, this conversation. She is an ocean of knowledge. She has worked. She's a prolific writer. She has contributed enormous to the modern Indian literature, and yet you can see how humble she is and how agile she is at this age. I mean, she bubbles like a young teenager. I mean, young person, younger age person. So that is the strength of literature, strength of Saraswati, capacity of Saraswati, and blessing of Saraswati. So blessed today. We had such a great personality, and we learned lot many things about her. But there are certain shortcomings of the program. We have the constraints of time, other things, so we could not, continue it for long. Maybe in future we'll call her again on another great session. And I hope you all enjoyed this wonderful literary session on a new year. I wish you all the best. Have a wonderful times ahead, glorious, full of hope, full of joy, good health. Create something, live life, live and let life. Hate none, love all. Thanks a lot. Good night. Best wishes.